to describe the things that he wanted. We made the agreement. What was the agreement? I would make his body disappear.
Sherlock County 911.
I wanted to get away from some creepy guy. He had me tied up in his basement.
I'm sorry, what's that?
He's after me. Help me. Help me.
And honoring my word to what I said I would do. That was when I took his... I cut them out. And I took them upstairs and I ate them.
Para entender la tragedia en torno al crimen de Mark Latunsky, hay que saber que Kevin Bacon, un joven estilista de 25 años, era la definición de luz en su comunidad. Pero esa luz se apagó la Navidad de 2019, cuando no apareció para el desayuno familiar. 3 días después, la policía encontró su auto abandonado con todas sus pertenencias. El rastro digital en su teléfono fue inequívoco. Iba a encontrarse con Oliko Sky Lucas, un alias que escondía la identidad de Mark Latunsky. ¿Hasta qué punto confías en un perfil de una app? Latunsky, un químico de 50 años, parecía funcional en papel, pero su mente estaba fracturada. Desde 2010 acumulaba diagnósticos de depresión mayor, esquizofrenia paranoide y personalidad limítrofe. Su historial era una bomba de tiempo. En 2014 llegó a reportar a la policía que se había suicidado, y en 2016 su esposo Jamie Arnold le pidió el divorcio, incapaz de lidiar con su negativa a medicarse y sus violentas fantasías sexuales.
He is somebody else. He had this whole theory that his family wasn't his family, that he was not a Latunsky, that he was, I don't know, somebody else.
Jamie, do you think that it's possible that Mark has murdered before?
Given the evidence at hand, I think it could very well be possible.
Latunsky operaba bajo el radar en foros de línea, pero el sistema tuvo oportunidades claras para detenerlo. Apenas 3 meses antes de la desaparición de Kevin, en octubre de 2019, un hombre llamó al 911 tras despertar en el sótano de Latunsky y logró escapar armado con un cuchillo. El sistema miró hacia otro lado y esa negligencia costaría muy cara.
I'm at the bus station. I met this guy. I'm by. He was cute. He hit on me. I don't know. We went out to the car. We talked. We went to the store. Had a soda. I woke up in the basement. Okay. He obviously drugged me. I never ever had anything like this happen. I don't know whether he drugged me. I don't know. I woke up in the fucking basement. Okay? Chained in the basement with a leather thing around my ankle, and I cut it with the butcher knife that I have in my freaking hand, excuse my French. I just want to get out of here, and I want to go home. I don't even care about the legal case I was here for. I'm sorry, I can't help them. I want to go home. Okay. I don't want an incident report. I just really need a ride. Please.
Desafortunadamente, este hombre nunca presentó cargos y terminó reconciliándose con Latunsky, después de lo cual pasaron un par de noches más juntos. 6 semanas después, en noviembre de 2019, se vio a un hombre de 29 años saliendo corriendo de la casa de Mark con la cara sangrando.
County 911.
I wanted to get away from some creepy guy. He had me tied up in his basement.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm trying to escape from some guy who had me chained up in his basement. He's after me.
Hey, Z, I need you to go to somewhere safe. If you can run up to somebody's house. Where are you at right now? Are you able to get away?
Help me. Help me.
6'2", he's running towards the house. Guy's trying to come after him. I'm trying to get further. Okay, I need an address where you're at. I'm trying to get it.
910W.
910?
Yeah.
I think he's in front of 910 West Tyrell.
I hear a pounding at my door at 4 in the afternoon, and I jump up. My dogs are barking like you probably hear, and this kid has his face covered with a rag and a phone to his ear, and he's like, help me, he's after me, just scared to death out of his mind. A gentleman pulls up in my driveway in a silver SUV, and he gets out, and he's wearing the same getup this guy's wearing, which is a leather skirt and a couple of belts crossing her body, no shoes on, no shirt on. This kid grabs my arm and clutches behind me. Keep him away from...
El joven buscó refugio con los vecinos, aterrorizado. Pero Latunsky, con una manipulación maestra, convenció a la policía de que solo perseguía a un ladrón que le robó un kilt de cuero de $300. Increíblemente, le creyeron. A pesar de tener 5 órdenes judiciales para tratamiento mental que ignoró por completo, el sistema lo dejó a sus anchas. El 28 de diciembre la policía llegó a su puerta. Tras mentir inicialmente sobre su nombre, Mark los invitó a pasar con una hospitalidad desconcertante. Los oficiales hasta elogiaron su decoración navideña sin saber el horror que había abajo. Al abrir una puerta en el sótano que solo cerraba por fuera, encontraron un matadero. El cuerpo de Kevin colgaba desnudo de los pies sobre un charco de sangre seca. Mark fue arrestado al instante.
Most likely a K. We're gonna treat this homicide.
Mark Lutonsky fue interrogado el 28 de diciembre. Los detectives pronto se enteran de cuán mórbidas y psicóticas son realmente sus fantasías. Pero por ahora, no tienen idea de cuán malvado es realmente el hombre sentado frente a ellos.
Mark David Lutonsky. That is not my legal name.
Oh, it isn't?
No. That is a stolen identity. Mark David Lutonsky was last, or at least the last record that I have of Mark David Lutonsky was 1972. He was born in 1969. He has black hair, he has brown eyes, and he was born a cripple. As all of the grand cripples. So, what happened to Mark David Lutonsky? I have no idea. Okay. However, all of the people that I grew up with knew that I'm not Mark David Lutonsky, and they just failed to tell me. My mother had a funeral in 1981.
Okay, so she died in 1981. Sorry to hear that. Okay. So what is the name that you prefer or that you use?
Now, well, here, as long as you're filling, my father.
What's his date of birth?
I have no idea.
Where does he live?
He passed away in, I believe, 2002. He lived somewhere in Owasso, as I recall.
Okay.
Now, I was raised by my sister. However, when I did my ancestry DNA, and I'm not a Lutonsky. So I did the digging, and when I confronted the people that I was raised with, they said, oh, now you know. I said, okay, so who's Mark Lutonsky? Who knows? At least as far as I know. I know he was born. I have a birth certificate. But the dates on that birth certificate span 1969 to 1972. So I was born no earlier than 1969 and no later than 1972 when 2 cousins from my family, genetic family, signed off on those state of Michigan documents. I don't know if that document is a death certificate for Mark Lutonsky or not. But I've been using that name to go to school, get an education, hold a job, but it's not me, and everyone in this county knows it. Because when my mother died, that's when it became public knowledge to everyone except for me.
What is the name that you prefer to be called?
Well, when I started to realize that that was a stolen identity, one, I stopped voting. Two, I'd been trying to get rid of it for a long time because that name is a name of a bunch of people that I have absolutely no relationship to. So the name that I go by is Olikos.
How do you spell it?
Olykos.
Aquí Latunsky muestra síntomas de esquizofrenia, una patología compleja. Las personas pueden experimentar alucinaciones como escuchar voces o ver cosas que no están presentes en la realidad.
So in the spare time you do financial stuff?
Well, I work on financial stuff. I have a banker. He's my New York investor that I work with. I have a second one who's here in Michigan. And then in my spare time I'm doing construction. But because I was looking for honest work, I started trying to pick up odd jobs where I would do something. Put up someone's drywall. No go. And so finally I, using the name Olikos, I put an ad on RentMan, and man, if I can give a massage and somebody's gonna pay me, that's more honest money than what I was doing at American Chemical. What they were doing was downright disgusting, things that nobody should do. And I look at them, if a man's gonna pay me to rub him down, fine.
So how long have you been doing that?
I started in about April of this year.
So like massages?
Just massages. It's like, you know what? I'll spend time with you. Man can't guarantee sex. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, hey, guess what? I can't sell that because that's not the way the world works. But you want to spend your time with me? Boom. Here's your price. And I'll have a good time with it, and
how much? So when you say here's your price, that's how much you would charge?
Yeah, $200 an hour, $1,500 a day. And if you look at it and you say, you want to dicker a deal on it, guess what? I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing it for honest money. Pulling my own money out of a trust fund. It's not honest money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's stupid. The fact is that my mother passed away on the very day that I would have come of age by our culture, and I would have had to have been told that she was my mother, and that I wasn't just, this little kid. I was her son and had this trust fund. Now I talk to people and I say, what are the chances that the very person who held the trust in guardianship, who was required to tell me, passes away on the very day that she would have had to have done that?
So when you said come of age, what did you mean come of age?
It was my 12th birthday.
And you said come of age for your culture. So I honestly...
I'm Norwegian.
Okay, so you're Norwegian.
I'm Norwegian.
So explain to me then what coming of age for Norwegian means, because I don't know.
4 multi-generational trust funds that would have been set up who knows when. Things that I don't control the conditions of any more than my mother controlled the conditions of them, which is why the people in New York, the families in New York that I've been in touch with here and there, all know more details than I do because they know much more. All I know is that I'm sitting here as the only living Thomas of Wales that I've been able to find.
So you're a Thomas of Wales?
I am a Thomas of Wales, and I reached out to the people in Great Britain to find out if there are any more.
Okay.
Because as I have looked amongst my blood relatives, I don't think there are any other Thomas of Wales of the Thomas of Wales clan left except for me. So to what extent that makes one iota of difference to why we're talking, I don't know. It's not like I have a whole bunch of people that I can go up to and say, okay, beyond what these people here in Shiawassee know, what gives? Some of them will give me some details, and some people just clam up. But at this point, you look at it and you say, come on, cat's out of the bag. And that's when the people that I grew up with said, okay, fine, that's it. That's all you're going to tell me? Yeah, that's all we're going to tell you. See ya. Like, you know what? If you're saying see ya, so am I. Why am I Mark David Latunsky? I'm not. And you knew it, and I knew it. But having that stolen identity kept me alive when all of the rest of my family is not. And that is what the New York banker finally said, bingo. So, if that's what my mother had to do to keep me alive, she was a very smart woman, because it didn't keep her alive. And
what sites did you meet him on?
Gosh, I think that one was Grindr. Okay. But no matter. We chatted for a while. He described the things that he wanted. I did what I could to bring those things about. And after we sat and made an agreement about what was going to happen, we made the agreement, and he was supposed to disappear, be gone. He had but you know as well as I do that in our society, although we say, a man can just go, does our society really allow that? No. And what it leaves behind is all kinds of I'm going to say, things for his family that a man doesn't want to leave. Now, the things that I set up for him and plan to do for him in that regard would do something for his family that would make it easier. But that agreement between him and I really shouldn't have anything to do with anything but him or I.
So what was the agreement?
In total, one, that, and he looked at it. I mean, we laid together for a while. He asked me to. I did.
I'm sorry, asked you to do what? Just lay with him?
Just lay with them. Just lay with them and hold them. And finally, he says, you know what? I'm ready. And at that point, that was quite it. Now, the going away part and the portions for his family, knowing that I have, and as I explained to him, I know that there are leases and properties that are attached to my estate. And I said, you know what? Because I fully expected, because we've talked through all of the options. I said, look, because of who I am and who I've been, in one way or another, the people who control the trust find out the best way to either A, get me out of the way, B, keep me safe.
Acá vemos una narrativa compleja, en la que Lutonsky cree ser Thomas of Wales, una supuesta personalidad noble. El detective Dave Corbin diría lo siguiente para manejar el delirio. Lutonsky expresó que a la víctima le gustaban las prácticas BDSM, una preferencia que Mark compartía. En consecuencia, organizaron un encuentro en Swartz Creek.
Why or how? Sometimes I know and sometimes I don't know.
So how does the trust have to do with the man in the basement?
Well,
Or doesn't it?
it does. It does. Because with that, there were things that I was going to do for his family. See, our portion of the trust, or at least what I'm beginning to see lay out, just as my home is the original Garrison home that sits along the I-69 corridor, the rest of the portions of the key homes along the north side of I-69 are also all owned by my family. I don't want to have the details on any record. Doesn't need to be there. What he wants is what he wants is what he wants. Sure. But at that point, I said, you know what? I'm not going to put these on you. I says, take what you have, take it off, put it in this bag. And he says, you know what? Can I text a friend and say, you know what? I'm just gonna be out, and you know, whatever we blabbered about. And I say blabbered just because I said, you know what? You say whatever you want to say. And he says, okay, now that I've said it, I'm gonna turn my phone off. Okay.
That was all at the parking lot?
That was all still in the parking lot.
Do you know what store?
No, it was just a parking lot there on Grand River not Grand River, Miller Road in Swartz Creek. And I said, if you're ready, I said, if you're doing this, then you put the stuff on. And then so I sat in the front while he did all of that.
So you're in the front of your vehicle?
I was in the front of my vehicle.
What kind of vehicle do you have?
It's a van. It's a Hyundai Santa Fe. Gray.
All right.
So I sat in the front, and he went in the back. He got all ready, and I said, look, you know, this way you're leaving everything behind, and it's like done. And at that point he says, okay, I'm ready. I went around and I shut the trunk, and then I put, you know, he gave me the key so that I could lock the car. I put his bag in the back. I locked the car.
You locked his vehicle?
I locked his vehicle.
So his stuff is in his vehicle?
His stuff was in his vehicle.
And then does he stay in the back of your van?
And he stayed in the back of my van.
Okay, and then you leave the parking lot.
And then I left the parking lot.
Okay.
And then we went back to the house.
Do you know what you did with the keys for the car?
The keys were the keys at first. He gave them to me.
Contrario a la idea de una muerte piadosa, le realizó una puñalada en la médula espinal. Sin embargo, vale la pena señalar que una puñalada en la médula espinal es una forma dolorosa y lenta de morir. La confesión toma un giro hacia lo grotesco cuando intenta justificar la carnicería con un propósito absurdo.
On that side, because he's laying on the floor, and it would be across the room, and he had his head facing the east wall. And so when I went in, you obviously have on the picture there's the spray that went to the west. Doing what I needed to do to complete what I told him I would do. Turn him into something that would produce light. And that's what I was in the process of doing.
Where's the knife now?
It is upstairs in, because I cleaned it off, and it is upstairs in the dresser drawer. I think on the right-hand side, top.
Is it a bedroom? Someone's bedroom or your bedroom?
Yes.
So it's your guys' bedroom?
No. I put it up in my bedroom.
Oh, your bedroom.
Just because, I had, again, knowing at least the bits and pieces of the conversations that we've had over periods of time,
what does the knife look like?
What's it look like?
Yeah, is it like a kitchen knife? Is it you know what I'm saying?
No, it's just a hunter's knife.
It's a hunter's knife. What color is it?
It has a black blade. It has a black and gray handle.
Okay. Is it a fixed blade?
Fixed.
So it doesn't move. It's not.
No.
I'm picturing something like you remember the movie Rambo? You ever see Rambo or? It's about that big with a handle and a big blade.
The blade is only about that long.
Oh, okay.
Is it serrated or smooth?
Smooth. It was a smooth blade.
Mark Latunsky.
I need to make sure that this is quick and not drawn out.
Okay.
And so it was then that it's like, okay, let's get this so that he
quicker.
It was. I was trying to speed it up at that point because he was already unconscious.
Okay.
But I could tell, because, you could tell he was. In any case, it was the realization of this wasn't enough, and that was when I hoisted and got all of that set up and had to apply.
El asesino aseguró que la víctima le expresó sus deseos de que sus huesos fueran usados como fertilizantes para plantas, específicamente para el cultivo de tulipanes. Porque claro, qué mejor legado que servir de abono para flores. Latunsky explicó que para acelerar el proceso decidió cortarle la garganta y levantarlo de los pies para que la sangre corriera más rápido. Lo explicó todo como el proceso técnico que se realiza al sacrificar a un animal de ganado.
Latunsky explains that after stabbing Bacon in the back, he wanted to speed up the process. So he decided to slit his throat and hang him by his feet from the ceiling so that the blood could run out quickly. Now, while Latunsky claimed that this was to speed up the process, it is widely known that animals slaughtered for consumption undergo a similar processing method.
Do you remember what day that was? Because you said that you met initially on the 24th.
24th.
So when did this part all take place?
It was...
Was it the same night or the next day? Or? So Christmas was Wednesday.
Well...
The 25th was on Wednesday.
It would have been during, it was during that evening. And then after he was, and I don't know, it's just flat out fact, is that after he was dead, and it was then that I started to do what I told him I was going to do. I was going to eat part of him. And I did. It was the new moon. And honoring my word to what I said I would do. I look at it and I say, if that's...
Was that his wishes? Is that the main reason why you did it?
It was the discussion, like wherever, whatever is consumable is consumable. So I will eat you. Okay.
So this happened sometime the night of the 24th into the 20th.
It was the night of the 24th into the 25th. I stayed with them for quite a while. And that was very important. And I said, you will not die alone. I said, I won't.
That, to me, as an outsider looking in, that shows me the type of person you are.
I said, I won't do that.
Absolutely.
I said,
you're a man of your word.
Regardless of what it is, I won't let you die alone.
Yeah.
And
that's very stand-up of you. Not a lot of people would do that.
El asesino trata de minimizar sus acciones y hacer creer que todo es moralmente aceptable. También observamos que los interrogadores están dejando que Latunsky proporcione la mayor parte de la información. En lugar de hacerle preguntas aleatorias, le piden que aclare la información que él mismo ofrece. Este es otro método utilizado para mantener el control sobre el proceso de interrogatorio sin ser acusado de forzar una confesión indebida.
Where did you do that?
On the kitchen stove.
Like with a frying pan?
It was the griddle. I eat Rocky Mountain oysters anyway.
Sure.
I have a carton of them that I had bought. And so it's really very simple. You slice them thin, you saute them with some Worcestershire sauce, and once they're done, you just eat them. The other portions were going to be a jerky and the like. I didn't know that at the time, and so afterwards, and in fact, yesterday, maybe, that's on what day it is now.
It is now Saturday morning.
But I just ordered a dehydrator so that, I said not knowing, just so that I could continue to process the way and do what he wanted me to do.
So you would have taken more of his body and put it in the dehydrator?
Absolutely.
Where's the dehydrator now?
It's on order. It'll order it until after we talked, and he said that that's what he wanted. And so it's like, well, and that's when I started really looking for one to say, you know what, this is what he wants, then this is what he wants. That's uncommon.
Did you guys, I might have missed the conversation when I stepped out.
I was covered in a little, not covered, but it's like I had some on me, and I looked at it, and it's like I had done what I needed to do, and I could wash this off. No. I'm not going to. And at that point, you know, I went upstairs and I crawled into bed and I just left it.
Did you ever,
and
did you ever wash those sheets then after you laid in and wet on it?
no. And when I got up the next morning, you know, because I rested, you know, just lightly, I got up and it was middle of the afternoon when I was supposed to go over and meet the other guy on the 25th. And I looked at it and I went, you know what? I'm not. And I left it right on. And I put on what clothing I had. And I went, I'm not going to wash him off.
Where did you put the clothing that you have him on you?
No idea. You know, I mean...
You never washed it?
No.
Do you remember what you were wearing?
When we were having our finish things? Nothing. What was I wearing?
You said you had blood. Did you have blood on your clothes or just your body? Naked body?
My body.
Just your naked body?
Yes.
So, at the times, and then the time that you assisted him in passing, did you have clothes on at that time? Or were you naked? Okay.
I was naked.
Okay.
I had no.
So there would be blood on the sheets, though, where you could lay down if it came off.
It would be dried. It would be whatever sloughed off. And I looked at it, and again, maybe my thinking of saying, you know what, I'm not going to wash this off. And even when I was talking to someone, I don't feel that I did anything wrong.
Did you tell anybody else about this, other than us?
I did, because part of my culture is that if you have an honorable death, then you have to tell somebody before you pass 3 houses. And so I looked at it, and we've even talked about this, you know, because he gave me the name.
You and what'd you call him?
I actually never used his name. It was only just before he looked at it, you know, because he says, wow, you really planned a lot of this. I said, I planned nothing. I said, I planned absolutely nothing. I said, okay, let's say that the police have a problem with it. I said, the police have a problem with it, then what? They throw me in jail. Or they try to. I said, I guess I'll just have to deal with that.
It sounds honorable. It sounds honorable.
Well, but in order to make it honorable in my culture, I did have to tell someone. And even when I talked to him, he says, just call me Kevin Bacon. And I went, okay. I said, if I say that I killed Kevin Bacon, he says, no one's gonna believe you. I said, I could tell anybody, and no one would believe me. It was because of my name. I actually texted before I ever did anything, I went up and I texted a friend who was, and I'm going to say, what's the correct word? Understanding of the situation, because he's a judge advocate in New York, and I sent him a text and I said, you know what, I did this. I says, and I love him. He's my hero. And
I'm sorry, who's your hero?
The person I killed Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is my hero. And that's.
And who did you send that text?
I sent that to who was in New York. He also, I said, encounters different people with all kinds of different needs. And like I said, at that point, I just texted him and I said, okay, I don't need to do anything else. Sure. I was able to tell someone before I even left the house. And at that point, I went, I'm done. You know what? I did it. I complied, and then I went to sleep and went off to Christmas, and that was when I talked, and it's like, and it was really strange because working in the healthcare, was working in nursing homes, and he says, he was talking about how undignified, how horrible sometimes we let people die in that way.
Dada la forma en que se expresa Latunsky, es evidente que percibe sus acciones al matar a Bacon como justificadas. Bajo el Código Penal de los Estados Unidos, una persona puede ser considerada legalmente demente si sufría de un trastorno mental en el momento del delito.
I actually don't even know his last name. I actually got a text from him because he thanked me for the discussion that we had, and he wants to, just come down and spend some time with me. But for a completely different reason. Because we didn't talk about this. I put it completely out of my mind as far as saying, you know what, it's done, and now I'm just going to do the things that I agreed to do to the best of my ability, and I hope that I'm able to do that instead of opening up something that he never wanted opened. And so I don't know if you covered it with Josh.
When did you spend his suffering? Was he or was he on the ground when you did?
He was on the ground.
Okay.
Because he was still in this position, and what I did was I had to move his head in that because at that point I would.
So did you lean over him?
I leaned over.
Can you demonstrate? Pretend his head's against that wall. What did you do? Okay, well, tell me what you did.
I saw that it was going longer, and I took his head and I moved it to the side and this way. So it was as much as I could in order to whatever it was, it at least initiated another gash that was there wasn't spray like there was the first time, so it was at least more effective.
So when you say the spray the first time, what do you mean?
That was when
So the spray on the wall is what you think, what you're referring to as the first time?
That was the first one.
And then when you did this,
the second one, it was just, it's like, I need to end this as quickly as I can, and that was after that I could tell that he was unconscious.
Did you have to put the rope on attached to the ceiling, or was the rope already there?
No, I was running the rope through the eye hook.
Yeah, okay.
Because the eye hook was used for, if that's other suspension. I had a guy hanging by his balls. That's when you do things like that. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, not really.
Okay. Well, and in any case, that's
more fetish stuff, correct? On the way there are fetishes, and fetishes can be a whole bunch of things.
It can be all kinds of things. But the eye hook was there, and so I was running the ropes through, as.
So you just put those ropes up for, we'll call him Kevin. So you just put the ropes up for Kevin Bacon, or had they been there for a couple of weeks before Kevin Bacon?
No, that they had never, that those ropes had, no, those were all done that night. And in fact, before he got there, that rope, I mean, we tailored it for some of the stuff that we were doing. Because the ends were fraying, and because I don't like the weight of things, I've just taken and I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before or whenever it was, I had recut some of the ends and done that and taken them upstairs, put them on the stove, and you know, so you'll see with the ropes that they're seared on the ends so that they don't fray because they're polymer ropes
in the basement though.
The ropes that are in the basement, and then because I was trying to readjust and get them up so that I could get some of the sand out to get it out to the flower bed, is that the ropes as you saw them today, all of that, because I've been working with it for the past couple of days to, you know, I mean, whenever I can to try to get everything, I was just trying to get everything right so that I could, you know, just make it happen. How familiar are you with the leather fetish community? He's been my alpha's mate for
probably more than I am,
for the past 5 years. But when he started to exhibit characteristics of an alpha, and that was another reason why he got his own apartment. You don't put two alphas in the same building.
So was your partner until he showed too much dominance for your liking?
And at that point, he got a boy of his own, and I helped him do that. But
what do you mean, got a boy?
Well, he has a man who helps him out, not a partner.
Okay, I don't want to say it wrong. That's why I'm asking questions. That's why I'm asking questions.
We follow the pack dynamics, and so when we were together, it was alpha's mate, and then anyone else with either a beta, submissive, or whatnot. We did not have an omega. With him exhibiting, and he's older than I am, with him exhibiting dominant characteristics to the point that he was willing to say no. It's like, no, that doesn't fly. You see how that works?
I play that with my dog.
You play that?
With my dog.
You play that?
I'm the alpha dog in this house. You're going to do what I say.
You're going to do what I say.
Not sexually, but as an alpha dog. You know what I'm saying? I hear you.
So when and it was and I'll tell you that it came from GMC. Mm-hmm. In all of my stupidity, last January, I decided to get him some of that he would have.
It was your own fault.
It was my own fault. I did it. It was my own fault. I got him some, and he went on it for, I think it was about 2 months, maybe even it was a month. And one day I can't even be in the same bed with you. And I looked at what was going on. And we charted our sexual history. And I just look at this, it's a straight line down. I said, the second you went on that, it went from flat to this, and here we are today. I said, you've got to get off of that. He went off of it, and what happened? We went right back up. It was post-mortem, and it was just a matter of saying, look.
And you said you put Worcestershire on it?
I put the Lee and Perrins Worcestershire sauce on it. And it's just, you know, the griddle is right there. And because that's how I normally eat them. I mean, I had a friend from Ohio that came up, and I tried some of the recipes with Rocky Mountain oysters, and they just produced so much volume that I found that just thin slicing them with grandparents was best. And I went, well, if it works for the standard Rocky Mountain oysters, it should work for these. And
so that leads me to a question. And again, I appreciate your honesty. I can't make you know.
I'm looking at it, I'm saying, you know, it's just what it is.
And again, that proves to me the type of person you are. The honesty and
like I said, it's not a matter of, some people would say, okay. And I think some people would say, not okay. But
so has this ever happened before?
No.
You've never assisted anybody with these type of wishes, or
no, I haven't.
Or eaten anybody else's or any other part of the body?
No. And I told him that as well. I've never done this.
Well,
I've never done it.
What you just got done saying though was that that's how you normally eat them.
No. I have a carton of Rocky Mountain oysters that I purchased of standard. You know, I bought them from Marin Duff meat.
Rocky
Mountain oysters are just
oysters, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was, and that's how, you know, I had learned to just take the Rocky Mountain oysters, then slice them, put them onto the griddle, put some Worcestershire sauce on them, and I figured if it works for those.
Además del deshidratador que Latunsky compró para convertir los músculos de Kevin en carne seca, mencionó que en ocasión de la luna llena comía regularmente Rocky Mountain Oysters, un plato hecho de testículos de toro. Pero en ese día en particular, decidió hacer uso de los testículos de Kevin para su consumo.
You've been honest with us, and I appreciate that. I have a feeling this probably wasn't the first person where you helped them end their life. And maybe I'm wrong, but and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to sit back and visualize how this all played out. And with your demeanor, you're so calm. And I'm just wondering, is this really the only person that that this has happened with?
You're completely wrong.
Okay.
However, and I'm going to put a however in there. As we started the conversation, exactly where is Mark Latunsky? Now, that is something that I've become very much a realist about it. Things that I remember from my childhood. I remember going out into a field with Lawrence Dean and with a shovel burying something. When I was this big, in a location that has now been converted into the cemetery that contains the cemetery plot for Mark Latunsky. Dealing with that reality in a very mature way. Did I bury this, whatever was left of it, at that point? I don't know.
How old do you think you were?
Well, the last record of Mark Latunsky was 1972.
Yeah, I'm saying the person I'm looking at now. How old were you as a physical person?
How old was I when that happened? I was maybe 5, 6.
Okay. So at the property that you're at now, at the house right now, have you buried anything on the property?
Have I buried anything on the property?
Let me give you another piece of paper.
Okay. If the house is here, okay, my dog Lad is buried here.
Okay, so you buried a dog.
I buried the dog.
Respectfully. What else did you bury?
I have buried a horse. And actually, I didn't bury the horse. When the horse drank the water out of the barn, it went crazy and dropped dead. And so the neighbor came over and he buried that horse right there.
Can you write horse?
Horse.
And then dog?
Dog.
Have you buried anything else? Because I'm going to have a cadaver dog go out and just do a property sweep, just so we cover our bases.
You can cover your bases. There are, to my knowledge, there is absolutely nothing there buried.
Okay. Have you taken the life of anybody else? I'm speaking.
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. What do you mean to your knowledge?
I have not taken anybody. I'm telling you, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Because you did it so neat and clean. Did you clean up that room at all after he was passed and after you had hung him by his feet? Did you do a lot of cleaning down there?
No.
You can flip over because this is the sheet.
I took the sand where the blood was there, and I shoveled out one bucket that had bloody sand, and I put it on the hyacinths and actually the hole had been dug when I was planting the hyacinths because I ran out of hyacinths in the fall, and so the rest of the hole was already there, but there was one hyacinth that was left exposed. And I just took that one bucket of sand and I put it right there.
Just put sand with
sand.
And that is
from basement.
and
it's right there. And it's right there. I mean,
that has the blood on it.
And that has the blood on it. So the cadaver dog will find that sand right there.
Okay.
If it doesn't, your cadaver dog is broken.
Okay.
I mean, it's just...
I understand what you're saying. So.
It's that simple. There's no way that dog won't be able to smell that.
Aunque Latunsky muestra signos de enfermedad mental, sus respuestas estratégicas y calculadas sugieren lo contrario. Muchas personas y expertos creen que podría haber estado fingiendo una enfermedad mental como parte de su estrategia de defensa para este caso. ¿Estamos ante un hombre tan enfermo que no distinguía la realidad? ¿O ante un asesino tan frío que usó su diagnóstico como el arma perfecta? La coartada de la inocencia y la locura comienza a resquebrajarse cuando se le confronta con un pasado reciente. Mark Latunsky argumentó que nunca había intentado asesinar a nadie antes, pero el interrogador contraatacó sacando a colación el incidente que ocurrió en noviembre, involucrando al hombre de 29 años que huyó.
So when you're driving him from that parking lot to your house,
I actually had him sit on a blanket and then I said, look, if somebody, if we're driving down the road and someone looks in, you know,
right.
Whoever me,
that's what I'm trying to get at.
So I put 2 blankets into the back of the van for him, so that he could, and then I turned on the heat so that it was, you know, plenty warm.
Yeah.
You know, that, like I said, I just looked at it and I went, you know, here, this way, I said, look, and as we were looking at this different stuff, I said, if you decide to go with I said, you know, then it has to be removal. I said, I can see it now. We get stopped by the cop looks in the back, he sees you all tied up. And this is one thing I actually said to him. I said, they stop us, and he says, what's that? And I said, don't worry, it's okay, it's consensual. And then the cop is going to undo you, and he's going to say, is this consensual? And you're going to say, yes. I said, if you don't say yes, then you better hope that I never get out of prison. You know, it's like, I laughed about it, but, you know, that's all serious because people will say yes. And then later it's like, well, no. Or, I meant it to be no, and you really have to be very careful of when a person is saying no and when they're really saying no.
Sure.
And
when more or less the role playing versus out of that fetish world, they're saying, no, I've had enough. Legitimately, I need you to stop. I need to go back home and So when he's writing and you're driving, he basically, essentially, he's got nothing covering his legs, nothing covering his shirt.
He is.
Other than blankets.
He's and that was just part of.
When Mark.
And then all of a sudden, I hear the door open, and I went, well, that's kind of weird. And I go to the door and I look out. I'm not wearing anything. And I look out the door, and he's just walking across the yard. I mean, he wasn't
in that leather.
He had my $300 leather kilt, and he's walking across the yard. Now, we'd already talked. He knew which neighbor he could go to who doesn't care for me at all. He walked past that house. He walked past the next house. And it's like I look at him, and then he books it 2.5, 3 houses down, and decides to start climbing fences. I'm like, going, you're stupid. What's going on here? And it's like, but then it was like, and my personal opinion is that he found the nicest piece of leather where he shimmied into it, and he was going to walk with it. And if he got out of sight, or I didn't know where he was, boom, he could call somebody and say, look, and then go home with it. I actually had to go, I want my kilt back. And it's like, oh, that's your kilt? Yeah, I want my kilt back. Here are his clothes sitting in a dang pile right in front of the door.
Okay.
So I look at it, and I'm not past that myself, because when I was younger, and it's like, I mean, I did it myself with little articles, and I was like, well, gee, I don't have this, this porn video, so it's like, into the bag it went, and it's like, so I always have to be careful of that, because when you've got items of a fetish nature that are kind of expensive, for something to just disappear like that, no, that is for flogging usually.
Okay.
So I mean, it was the purpose of flogging, right?
Don't know the purpose of it, but
okay. Well, what it does is it activates the blood vessels in the skin, so that the sensations of touch and feel are heightened because the nerves are activated. So like that. So it was through an entire, each of the different movements that went through.
Another question that came to mind. Actually, the guy, one of our partners that's out there at the house, had asked. In the kitchen on the stove, there's a couple different pans. There's one that's got some vegetables like potatoes and stuff already in it.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that I think might be clean or doesn't have anything in it. Do you remember which pan you would have used to?
I think that's the griddle. The flat one.
Because I don't remember, because I haven't been out there. Is one more rounded and one's flat?
Well, I
distinguish between the two.
I use cast iron.
Okay.
Okay. And so the I mean,
you don't remember which one? Or you?
I mean, it was whatever. I don't know. you are, and even the way you're asking that question, that's like, I look at it and I say, maybe you're being square with me. Maybe you look at it and you say, you know what, this is all happening up. Maybe you're just playing me.
I'm not playing you.
I'm just trying to get that. We're just trying to
Just get, because we're here and it's there and we're trying to get a mental picture. And you, listen, you've been completely honest with us and we appreciate that. And I'm a completely honest person with you. I'm not blowing any smoke, nothing. What, if no one had shown up at the house, and maybe you already told us that story, remember? What were you going to do with his body?
His internals were going to go out back, and I was going to put the peach pits in them, and then the rest of them I have the chestnut that are in the refrigerator. And I had been meaning to plant them before, but really never had anything that, you know, to grow them with. I was going to drop the chestnuts into a portion of them. There's the pile of mulch out back. I was just going to cover them with mulch.
You're going to cover his bones with mulch?
No, not the bones. I was just going to take the internal gut portions and get rid of it, so that they were each growing things. The muscle portion was going to go into the dehydrator that I purchased after, you know, yesterday, or it's going to be delivered on Monday, because that was, you know, that came out of the discussion. So I didn't have anything, you know, planned for it at that point, and then. I was just going to, you know, crush up the bones into bone meal, and then see if, you know,
seasoning.
What?
Seasoning, is that what you said?
No, grind them up into bone meal, and take the bone meal and pair them with tulip bulbs, and figure out some way to, you know, just have them appear somewhere. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like.
In memory or I don't know.
Just however it works, you know. If it's a matter of getting it to happen, so that.
And putting the muscle from the body into the dehydrator.
Into the dehydrator.
Would have to eat like jerky.
Basically, yeah. Jerky it up, and that's, you know. I know a lot of people don't understand that, but you know, it's like I look at it and.
No, we're open to a lot of things.
And I know it is what it is. It's a matter of just making it happen. So.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll get right back with you.
You need a bottle of water in it?
I love water.
We're about done.
And then. Am I going to be able to go back home and take care of the dog, or do you know, or what?
I don't know yet. We'll cross that bridge real quickly here, though.
Okay.
I'm not going to leave you in the dark all day.
Okay, great. I'm tired and I want to get some sleep, and today's a gym day.
I don't like missing gym days. All right, give me a few minutes.
Okay.
En la misma investigación se reveló que Mark pasó parte de la Navidad de 2019 con su ex esposo Jamie, con quien había quedado en buenos términos a pesar del divorcio.
I talked to Mark on Christmas Day. I had some friends over and I didn't want him to be alone, so I invited him over Christmas Day if he wanted to come.
Okay, so
he arrived there in the afternoon, I don't know, sometime around 1, 2 o'clock. He appeared to be normal. He never exhibited any signs that anything was wrong. What is somebody who, when you met, was this kind, gentle soul who turned into this monster? You don't want to believe it. That's why I had to get out. I couldn't take that lifestyle anymore. Nobody should have to go through this. No parent should ever have to bury a child.
A los detectives les parece altamente sospechoso que Jamie asegurara mantenerse en contacto con su ex esposo, pero al mismo tiempo dijera que accidentalmente borró todos los mensajes de su teléfono.
So
can we go over, like, you know, how you're planning your Christmas? Because, you know, you were having people over around Christmas, how all that worked out?
Well, I put out there on Facebook that if anybody didn't have a place to go to on Christmas, to, you know, feel free to come to my place, because nobody should have to spend Christmas alone. I had a couple friends over, and one gentleman did reach out to me and say that he would like to come.
The text conversation with him on Christmas Eve with Mark?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay.
I remember this. Then I went to the mall shopping. I went to Walmart to pick up some things for dinner. Then they announced they were closing at 6, which I had no clue. And then I went home. And I remember just spend the night. And I said, you know, sure.
Okay. And what time did you work on Christmas Eve?
Oh, me, I worked till noon.
Okay, so...
When the salon closed at noon, I think I might have been done around 1 o'clock.
So what time did you start?
Oh, I started at 9.
Okay, 9 a.m. to about 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went directly to Walmart?
No, and then I went out to the mall. I went to Genesee Valley, and I finished up my Christmas shopping, and...
How long were you there?
Well, I was there until, let me see, I went to Walmart, and it takes approximately 15 minutes to get out there from this location, because it takes me 15 minutes to get home, and Walmart's just down the road.
Sure.
So, I must have been out there till about 5:30.
Oh, at the mall?
At the mall,
okay.
Shopping, yeah.
All right. Did you find everything you looked for?
Well, yeah, and I found a few things for myself. I mean,
okay.
You know, good buys.
Yeah, everything, a lot of things are on sale at the right time. What stores did you go to?
H&M.
Okay.
The Express.
Mm-hmm.
What should I call it? H&M Express. I was usually parked at JCPenney's. I might have gone to Macy's. I don't recall him buying anything at Macy's. I would have to say the two stores I can definitely remember is Express and H&M.
And you remember buying things from both those stores?
Right.
Okay. Something for yourself or something?
Something for myself and for gifts for...
and Greg? Okay. Did you give Mark his gifts?
Sure did.
Okay. What did you buy Mark?
I bought him a sweater. That's a sweater.
What store was that from?
I do believe the sweater. I don't know if it was at H&M or Express.
Okay, one or the other.
One or the other.
Okay, that's no problem. And then, did you buy him any more gifts besides the sweater?
Oh, I bought him some beard stuff, but I got that from the salon.
From your salon?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, grooming oils and shampoos. I think I might have bought him a shirt. I have receipts for everything.
Okay. I'll let you know if we need to see it. And the reason why we ask these type of questions...
But I also use my credit card, so
and hope you know that, you know, it's just so that we have a complete picture.
Right,
that we can, you know, be able to, you know, like you just offered, you know, to give us receipts, so just so we can, if we need to verify stuff. Okay. So like you said, you gave them those gifts Christmas?
Mm-hmm. Christmas Day.
All right.
In fact, we sat there and opened them up. I also got Mark an ornament, but I ordered that through Amazon. Christmas ornament. And a bracelet, but that was from the salon. Just an expensive bracelet.
Tell me about we talked earlier today about the text messages that we don't have them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have them anymore. They're not on your phone anymore.
Right.
Okay. Tell me about that. What happened?
Well, I was going through the messages, reading them over, seeing what was in them, so I could just see if I missed something somewhere. And then I went to, hold the phone, and next thing I know, they're all deleted because somehow I had touched these phones. I swear to God, they're so sensitive. Touched something to make it go to the delete all, which I never meant to do.
Okay.
I mean, it was an accident. I knew as soon as I did it. It was like, oh shit.
When did this happen?
I don't know. It was sometime after the arrest.
So it was before or after we talked to you?
It would have been after.
Is there things that you guys talked about that you would be embarrassed about, or that you think?
I mean, I know that with today's technology, nothing is deleted. That no matter what, you can always retrieve whatever's in there. Like I said, iCloud, I'm sure it's probably in iCloud or somewhere.
You didn't think it was important to let us know about those text messages?
You know what? Everything was so new. I was answering all the questions you gave to me. I never thought about it. I was trying to just cooperate.
But I mean, even after we talked to you the first time, and you said you were going through those text messages, right? Is that what you said?
Right.
And came across those. Even if you did accidentally delete those, you're a smart guy. I gotta believe that you put two and two together. Bacon. I just had some bacon. You killed Kevin Bacon.
No. First of all, I didn't even remember that text message until you had said something, and I never ever. I mean, you
put yourself in our shoes.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How it looks.
Right. I understand. I don't ever remember anything about. I mean, I don't. To put the two together. No, I never did. Never.
Dude, I want to believe that everything you're telling us is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Las excusas de Jamie son muy difíciles de creer, sobre todo tomando en cuenta que el día de Navidad, muy poco tiempo antes del asesinato de Kevin, le envió un mensaje a Latunsky preguntándole si traería un poco de bacon a la cena.
But we have a hard time when knowing now what those text messages were. Mm-hmm. It was deleted and was never told to us. When you're trying to be, you've tried to be.
Because I didn't even think about it. I was in shock myself. I couldn't believe what was going on. I never, ever thought bacon and bacon. That is the last thing I ever thought of, that those two somehow coincided.
He never, other than those text messages...
Because he would, like I said, he would bring bacon over, in the package, and...
He's done that in the past?
Yes, he's done that in the past. To make breakfast with and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Did he mention anything about a Kevin Bacon?
No.
At that Christmas Eve, Christmas Day?
No.
Anytime that you saw him afterwards, up until the arrest?
Just want to talk just a little bit more about the way that the messages were deleted. Mm-hmm. Usually on iPhones, it's either a two-step. There is a one-step way that you can delete a whole conversation if you're on the outside thing. And I just wanted us to be clear, because I see a little bit of maybe grimace when we talk about it, when you say that you accidentally I'm just maybe thinking that was it just something that you just wanted to wipe it away, that you had these conversations with him and that you were upset and mad at him, that that you was like, I can't believe this guy, and then deleted him then.
I never intended to wipe out every message in that conversation. Never.
Okay.
It was...
Did you meant to just maybe delete some and not all?
I was really going through them, and like I said, I should have worn my glasses, but I didn't. Sometimes I take my phone out and it's on, I don't know, doing something that I go, how the hell did that? I can't even half the time get into it when I use my fingerprint, but yet I put it in my back pocket and somehow it calls somebody, or it's...
Or made aware of this prior to...
If I had known what had happened, I would have come to the police. If I had any suspicion at all, this isn't right. I never thought he would ever be capable of anything like this. I mean, he said weird things to me. He said, we're married, but we're separated. I mean, I got out of there because he was starting to just say a lot of very unusual things that just didn't make sense. That the neighbor was contaminating our well, and I was like, why would he do that? It didn't make any sense to me that our neighbor would start contaminating our well. But he said, well, they are. You can't drink it, you can't bathe it. You know, I'd wake up and he'd be over me saying that I was a gray, green-eyed tribe leader, and that when the world turned upside down, that my people were going to need me to lead them again, and that he was somehow the leader of the North. And I was oozing black toxin. He took me to Dr. Gomez to tell the doctor that I was secreting this toxin when I was sleeping.
And that was all brand new since the end of summer, beginning of
And that was since his being fired in February from his job.
So did that kind of talk start even before the summertime?
Some of but nothing like this. The stuff about his ex-wife, yes, but nothing like the neighbors contaminating. Nothing like, other than his place where he worked were contaminating his products. He said they were putting reproductive toxins in them, which I tried to reason with him, but he said, well, they are. But nothing, none of this off the wall.
Okay.
Started wearing the kilt all the time.
What color is the kilt?
So we had several of them. He had a black, he had like a burgundy red one, leather, canvas, like an army green. So like there was a goldish brown one.
And he worked out in the kilt?
No, he would then change into his workout.
Okay. Why the kilt, you know?
Because of the whole Viking thing, and he liked wearing them because he said they were, comfortable, and
that was just, that seemed to start after he lost his job?
Well, we started wearing them beforehand, but he didn't wear them all the time, because he would, he had to wear, of course, pants to work, and but after the job, he liked wearing his kilts. But after the job, he started wearing his kilts like more and more, like all the time. Then it was kilts, all over the world.
Do you know when he's opened up the Chase Bank account?
That would have been sometime this year.
Okay. How much money he opened it with?
I don't know the amount. I know he supposedly said he had cashed out his IRAs and his HSA because he needed money. He didn't have any money. He had no income. He lost his job, and I told him, I need to get a job. I can't support everybody I'm doing. And he had bills.
Right. So you're saying that you might have been in the same spaces.
Same spaces where he was at. He might have even been out at the bars. I don't know.
Right. His face, kind of looks familiar to you or something like that. It's not like he's a total stranger. Right?
Somebody I may have seen in the crowd somewhere, like I said, like Swan Centric or...
We received some information then that on October 5th, specifically, I know the date, October 5th of 2019, you and Mark were in Pier 1. I take that back. You and a different male, not Mark. You and another male were in Pier 1 shopping. And the person that's given us this information was about 100% sure it was you and Kevin Bacon.
No, it wasn't. It would have been Dar.
Back in October, that would have been him?
If I was there with anybody, it would have been him, yes.
Okay. Do you remember being there in October?
Probably, because I was in there getting stuff for my apartment.
Okay. So, when we go back and check their videos, because all these stores got video surveillance, there's a cloud, they keep it for a long time. When we go back and check that date, and I'm going to, and I haven't yet, but we're going to, when we go back, there's no chance that that's you and Kevin Bacon. Because if it is, we're going to have some serious problems, right?
No, I understand.
So,
Absolutely.
but we always offer this, if you'd be willing to take a polygraph, to show that what you're telling us is true about never having anything to do with, or knowledge of, Kevin Bacon.
Absolutely.
no problem taking it, no problem.
No.
And again, it's voluntary, it's painless, takes a couple hours, and we most likely can do it right here at the post, if we can get the gentleman that does those to come in. But that's something that our bosses wanted to offer to you.
Like I said,
you know, as part of
other than maybe I might have seen him somewhere or something like that, but as far as having any kind of introduction or meeting or anything prior to this.
A pesar de las afirmaciones de Jamie de que Latunsky le dijo algunas cosas extrañas esa noche, a los detectives les resultó más que interesante notar que ellos seguían legalmente casados, cuando ambos hombres escaparon de la casa de Mark en los incidentes previos. A pesar de la insistencia de los detectives y las coincidencias macabras, fue imposible comprobar alguna clase de participación forense de Jamie en los eventos previos y al mismo asesinato de Kevin Bacon. Según estudios realizados por PubMed, los individuos con esquizofrenia reportan entre 4 y 6 veces más posibilidades de cometer un crimen violento en comparación con la población general que tiene una buena salud mental. En los países occidentales, aproximadamente el 6% de los homicidios son perpetrados por personas diagnosticadas con esquizofrenia. En diciembre de 2022, 2 años y 6 meses después del asesinato en Corunna, Latunsky se declaró culpable de los cargos de asesinato y mutilación en el caso de Kevin Bacon.
Yes, I was.
To your knowledge, is that in Shiawassee County?
Yes, it is.
On that date, were you with Kevin Bacon?
Yes, I was.
Did you use a knife to stab Mr. Bacon?
Yes, I did.
Did you know that stabbing Mr. Bacon with a knife would most certainly create a very high risk of death or grave bodily harm to Mr. Bacon?
Yes, I did.
After Mr. Bacon was dead, did you remove part of his body, specifically his testicles?
Yes, I did.
Did you move those testicles to the kitchen?
Yes, I did.
Did you do so without legal authorization, meaning you were not doing so to embalm Mr. Bacon's body or to do a proper post-mortem examination?
No, I didn't.
Your Honor, I believe that's sufficient factual basis for both counts.
A pesar de que su diagnóstico y su condición mental pudo haberse favorecido a una sentencia de no culpable, Latunsky fue encontrado culpable de todos los cargos y condenado a pasar toda la vida tras rejas sin posibilidad de libertad condicional.